It will simplify processes. It will put your business on automation. It will increase your marketing reach because there's so many more things that you can do behind the scenes.
You're listening to the Streamline Success Show. I'm your host, Dagmar Schult. In this podcast, we talk about how AI and automation can help busy coaches like you simplify their online businesses. We share practical advice that you can start using immediately. Welcome, everybody. Today we have a very special guest with us, Joy Nicholson. Joy is the owner of an online marketing agency, and she's also the author of the book Mastering Course Creation with ChatGPT. Joy has been helping businesses with their marketing for years and is now leveraging the power of AI in doing so. And in this episode, we talk about course creation with AI. Joy will share her expert insight, helping us streamline the course creation process. Joy, welcome to the show.
Thank you so very much for having me. I really appreciate your time, and thank you for this opportunity. It's awesome to speak to your audience about it.
Yeah, thank you. First, let me know what inspired you to start your marketing agency and dive into the world of online marketing.
So I started my agency in 2019. And before that, in 2018, I started my own business. And I wasn't sure. I've always been in marketing. Like I've been in marketing since 2017, well, 2007, actually. So I've been in marketing for a long time. But I did billboards and magazines and, all kinds of other actual like physical things, not digital marketing. And in 2018, I started a business and I dabbled. I did online shops. I did MLMs and all these different things. And I was like, okay, this all sucks. I hate this online game. I really don't like it. And then I did a challenge in the beginning of 2019 that taught me about sales funnels. And immediately I was hooked. And I was like, well, I know the concept of marketing because I've been doing it for so long. Now I'm just taking the concepts and I'm just applying it digitally. And that just hooked me. And I just absolutely loved it. And that's how I started my agency in March 2019. Yeah.
So it's like the journey we all do. So we in the beginning we struggle finding our topic and
Exactly.
moving on from thing to thing. I think everybody does this in the online world. Don't know
That's
why.
it.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's important to do that too, because you actually learn what you don't want to do. And I think
Right.
that's more important than what you actually settle yourself to do. And like I failed so many times and I worked stupid hours in my business that in 2018, I pulled 60 hours a week while having a toddler and a kid in school. So I was a horrible parent. I was a horrible mom. I was impatient and I was like, something's got to change. And then I really understand the factors of when you fail to succeed, that is the way to go. And then finding that something that you do and you're really good at it, then you just keep pushing with that one thing and that one thing only. And I think that's the secret sauce when you find your thing online.
Yes, right. And actually, what I discovered is you need to find your passion, really. So that was for me, I was struggling for so long. And even the last year, when I thought I have found what I want to do, I was kind of bored and didn't really like what I was doing. And when I came around, I didn't realize that I can utilize it in my coaching. I just used it for my work. And when this hit me, it was, oh my God, this is so exciting. That is fun doing. So now I'm here and talking about it. And this really changed everything for me.
I was at a marketing and AI event about a month or two ago. And the guy that was talking about it, he was actually in the same room of some of the founders of, like the companies like ChatGPT. And he was saying that what is released now, what we see, is nothing in comparison to what's to come. And what AI is doing is they are dripping out little bits and pieces to the public, to the general world population, because if they just go full steam and just drop it all on us, we'll explode. Like we would not be able to handle it. So in October, there is predicted to become a massive like storm of AI content towards people. So I don't know what it is. He didn't go into the details, but it would be very fascinating to see what's going to happen then.
I'm sure. So actually, I've started a training as an AI trainer 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, and even now. So I thought I know a lot about AI, but there is so much out there even now that you just you can't handle it right now. So
So
it's
much,
really
so
crazy.
much.
Yeah. So how did AI help you in your marketing? How did you discover AI for your marketing?
So basically when ChatGPT was released a couple of years ago now, can't remember what, it's about 2 years now, I think
Yes.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started we used it about 2 years ago. We started using it.
Yeah.
Having a marketing agency, the very first thing we did is we utilized it for creating sales funnel copy, email copy, things like that, like all the marketing materials that a company would use. And then obviously you can use it inside your automations as well, chatbots. I mean, we use AI every day. If you look at Siri, Google, all of that is AI.
Yes.
But now it's
Mhm.
just changed the world in a sense of how we use it in our marketing when you like create copy and things like that. And
Right.
that's how we started using it. And we use a system called Go High Level. You're familiar with Go High Level. And inside Go High Level, you can actually use ChatGPT as well. So it's just changed everything that we're doing. So instead of us spending, I don't know, like 3 weeks learning to understand a customer's ideal client, we do this now within minutes. To have a team going out, speaking to our ideal, like to our customers, clients, so we can understand who they are, what their desires, their needs, their struggles, all of those things are, so we can actually effective market to them. And now we don't even have to do that anymore. Well, we obviously will have here and there a conversation, but it's not weeks and weeks of research anymore. Now we're talking to them on AI, and within minutes we have a full client profile. And that
Yes.
alone in itself is thousands of dollars of money that you don't spend and time that you don't spend.
Yes, right. So, and what actually inspired you to write your book?
Yeah.
Because it's about
So
course creation.
yeah, so one of the things that we've been doing since 2019 is help coaches to create courses.
Mm-hmm.
So just because you're a coach doesn't mean you actually have a course that you're selling. You could
Right.
be one-on-one coaching. So what we've done 2019, 2020, and 2021, mostly those 3 years, is we helped coaches that was coaching one-on-one. We helped them to basically get more of their own time back by selling a course. And that's really, the niche that we were in. We're still in that niche, but not so very, very niche down onto it. Yeah, so this is the book. This is the one that we've
Yeah.
done. And I've taken the knowledge that I've got from the last, since 2019, really, that we've been doing it. And I've turned it into the book. And it inspired me to do that in a story writing way, because I don't want it to just be a boring, just book, because if you do AI wrong, it can be very boring. And I want coaches to see this book so they can go like, oh, actually, it's not that hard for me to create a course based on my knowledge. Because what we have found is when we have clients, like I'm just going to give an example, I'm not going to mention names. So, for example, I have a client that is very, very good in LinkedIn, and he's been speaking on stages about LinkedIn. It's absolutely amazing, right? Now, he's got all this knowledge. He's not just good in LinkedIn, he's good in persuasive speaking, because he's a speaker, he's a paid speaker. He gets paid like $20,000, $30,000 to be on a stage. Now, for him to actually get his knowledge out into a course, that takes time and effort. He's a busy man. He's traveling the world, speaking on stages. He's actually still running a business. And then on top of that, it's just a lot, right? He coaches one-on-one, he does all of these things. Now, for a man like him to sit down and to take what he knows and put that into a course, that's time consuming, because sometimes it's hard to do that. Now, what we've done is we've created a way to use ChatGPT to take your knowledge and turn it into a course. So you're not making things up, because this is the thing, and this is what I'm also talking about, is like, you're not going to lie about, like, please don't go and talk about engineering if you've never done engineering. Take the skill that you know that you're good at, and then turn that into your actual course thing. And that's what we do. So within, it was like 8 minutes, I timed it, worked out everything for him. So what I did is I took one of his speeches that he's done, and I uploaded the speech into ChatGPT. And I said we first had to sorry, I'm getting a brain flop. Take the audio from it, upload it into ChatGPT, and then I said to ChatGPT, take this and turn it into a course. So what ChatGPT did, it broke down all the headlines. So you've got your course content laid out. Then I said to it, okay, based on that, create me an ebook. It did that. But obviously there's more prompts back and forth. It's not just the only one, but this is the concept.
Yeah.
And then from there, you go into more details. You create worksheets, checklists, all of those things. You create badges, everything, the whole spiel. It took us 8 minutes, Dagmar, 8 minutes. And
Yeah,
there it was, bam, Bob's your uncle, and you have this course laid out. And then literally all he has to do is just sit and record the videos. That's it.
right. Yeah, this is so cool.
Yeah.
So how do you balance between the help of AI and the knowledge that it gets out and the human creativity in the process?
Yes. Now, that's a very good question. And it's also something that I'm very, very passionate about. And that's also, I've actually just created a course called Fill Your Funnel with AI Authentically, because I truly believe that you have to be authentic.
Yes.
You don't want to sound like just every other person out there using AI. So there's two ways to do it. One is you actually teach ChatGPT your brand voice. Have you heard about this concept?
Yes.
And then the second one is you teach ChatGPT the words that you do not want it to use, like all the banned words. So it doesn't use all the weird magics or like all these other weird things that it uses. And then this is the other secret thing. Well, a secret for the people that don't use AI, but if you're in the know, you know. And then you also teach it to become a really good persuasive copywriting, and you teach us the skills that a copywriter uses. And then that is basically the content that it kicks out in your brand voice. So it sounds kind of simple, but it's a lot of conversation back and forth with ChatGPT to have these conversations to teach it, so it ends up in the memory. But yeah, so that's basically it. And then you base all of that on your course and obviously the content that you create for that. So you don't just sound like another person doing the same thing. And storytelling, you teach it your stories. So what I have done as well is I've got a whole bunch of, especially with our travel stuff. So I've given ChatGPT a whole bunch of photos of places where we've been. I've uploaded the photos. And I said, and I just gave it like a 1 or 2 liner of where we were and what we've done. And I said to it, well, write me stories based on this. And it did. So now what you do is you have these stories that is authentic to you, and you basically use those stories in your content to write whatever you want to write. Yeah.
Right. Cool. How do you get ChatGPT is sometimes a little bit hypey. And if you say you want to have something engaging, then it comes up with things that you say, oh no, not that. That is really sounding crazy. Is that done with teaching it on your brand voice, or do you need to do something else?
It's definitely, it's part of the brand voice. And then it comes in where you have your banned words as well. So you can teach it to not go crazy. Like personally, I don't like to use the magic stuff in my content. So it will say like, I don't know, in the beginning it would have things on rainbows and fairies. And I'm like, what? That is just weird. And I would just say, ban this, ban that. And if you put it in your banned list, it doesn't come up with any of that stuff again. And if it does hallucinate, is what it calls, it just goes on this tangent and it goes crazy, then you just say to take a break. You type in there, take a break, give it a few minutes, and then you try again. But yes, so for it to, and it definitely comes in with your brand voice where you teach it to not do the things. It's part of like you tell it what you want it to do or want to kick out as information, and you also say what you don't like. And that helps a lot. But it's always a conversation. I mean, it's kind of like a naughty child. You're going to have this child rebellion and do things you don't want it to do. And then you just have to reprimand it, kill it, like pull it back and say, no, do it this way.
Yeah. So regarding teaching ChatGPT, so do you stay in one chat to have it remember all the things, or how do you make it remember it? Because the custom settings where you can put in something like that is very limited.
Yes.
Can't put in a lot there.
Yes, this is true. It is limited. I'm on a paid version, so I don't know if it's any different from the free version. You know, if everybody listened to this, if they're on the free or the paid, I can't speak for the free version. I've only used the free version for a few months and I moved over to the paid version. And I know with the paid version, sure, you can do a lot of the stuff with the free version, but the paid version gives you different, it was almost like the GPT is just better. And your memory only takes that much information. So I would go back to my memory because it complains that it's full. I would read my memory, and then I would see of the stuff that's in there, what can I combine? I would go into the memory, I would copy and paste a whole bunch of stuff that I'm thinking, okay, this could be deleted, or this could be added to that, or this could be combined. And then I would say to the GPT, which my GPT, I've called it Leonardo. So I would then go to Leonardo and say, like, these are the three things, combine that and add that into your memory. And sometimes it will replace it, or sometimes it will just add it and it will complain it's full. So you just go manually, you delete the things you don't want, and you add the combination of the stuff. So this way you always keep your information fresh, and your memory usable.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's deep. What trends do you see right now? So apart from what will happen in October, how AI will progress and help us in our marketing and in course creation, especially?
I see chatbots is becoming really big at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been big, but it's like really trending at the moment. And it's really advanced, even in comparison to how it was like 3-4 weeks ago. It depends also on the system you use. Like, I'm using a high level, and just looking at the chatbots in there, it's very
Yeah.
advanced. How can I say? It's almost like a human. You can speak almost like a human. Another thing that is also very popular, and I'm not sure how popular it is where you are or where I'm in Australia, but it's something that is popular in America, is where they use it for food orders. You'll call a restaurant, but it's actually the chat bot that you speak to.
Yes.
It
Yeah,
takes
yeah.
food orders and things like that, so those type of things is really popular. And also using it for life coaching and mindset coaching. We have these apps that you can speak to. For me, that's a bit
Yes.
weird, but those are trending as well.
Yeah.
So there's lots of little things
I
that you
saw
don't
that.
think of.
I saw that Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi have put out something like that in their mastermind. So they trained everything that Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi know into this chatbot. And so people can go there and ask Tony and Dean questions, and they would get answers from them, although they are not there. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the biggest trend I've seen now, is that. And that's such a massive time and money in any business to have that.
And you can reach so many more people. So what advice would you give to people that may be a little bit hesitant to use AI because they are maybe not tech savvy, or they think they are not, or they have ethical problems?
So here's the thing, it's going to take over. This is the reality. It's like the internet. When the internet originally came out back in the day, I don't know, I was a kid, well, kiddish, I was like a teenager. It was a big thing, but people were hesitant about it back then. I remember my dad was like, we're not going to get that. Are you crazy? And it's the same with AI. It is that thing that is as big as what the internet was back in the day when it came out. It's going to happen. So you can just either get on board, or you're going to be left behind. And as a business, if you're not going to adapt it in your marketing, in your day-to-day, in your automation, all of that stuff, you are going to be left behind, where other people, you're going to be in your tractor while your competitor is going to be in a Ferrari. That's the reality. That's how it's going to look for you.
Yeah.
And to avoid that, it's better to get on board. This is the beautiful thing about AI. You do not need to be tech savvy. You don't need to be. All you need to do is think logical and have conversations. And there's courses out there that teach you about ChatGPT that is thousands of dollars. You don't need to spend that. All you need to do is play with ChatGPT for an hour every day. And you just need to understand the principles, act like, because it needs to have a role in the style of, or like what we've done is we're teaching our ChatGPTs to, and the custom ones that we've got and for clients and so on, we teach them to be that brand ambassador, that marketing assistant. And that's all you need to do, is just teach it to be like you, sound like you. And that's where the authenticity comes in, because then it's not unethical, and you're not going to use it to be unethical. Obviously there's evil people, you're going to get it, it's going to happen. But as a person, you can choose to not do that. And you can teach it to be authentic and not steal information. And that's the other thing. You get like a tool like Perplexity, where if you use, Perplexity, it actually gives you the resources of the information. I think Claude does the same, where ChatGPT can hallucinate, and it might not give you all of the information. It might just make up websites, and because it's there to please you, it's like your child that just wants to like make you happy. And it will just make up stuff to make you happy. And that's where you that's kind of where you have to like, okay, this doesn't seem okay. And the human comes in and you're like, I know this topic and this doesn't sound all right. And then you either go to another AI tool like Perplexity or Claude, or you just go and do good old Google and you go and search it up. And that's
Yes.
kind of how you make sure that you stay ethical with everything and authentic.
Yeah, that's actually so important that you check the things that it comes up with, because first of all, it can be wrong. It's
Oh,
feed with
yes.
human knowledge, so it's of course it can be wrong.
Yes.
And as you said, ChatGPT is not able to quote. It comes up with quotes, unfortunately, but because the way ChatGPT learns is you feed it with knowledge and it
Yeah.
makes a summary out of it. And the
Yeah.
summary stays with ChatGPT. So
Yes.
there is not the whole wording there, and it can
Mm.
interpret the things, and it does interpret. So the quote it comes back with is most likely an interpretation and not a quote. So we're very careful with quotes
Yeah.
on ChatGPT. So Claude is much better there.
Perplexity is better because
Yes,
Perplexity actually
perplexities.
comes out with the
Yes,
sources that it gets the information
right.
from. If you're looking for a research tool, definitely Perplexity is number one in my
Yes,
opinion.
because it can go out in real time and browse the internet. ChatGPT
That's it. That's
can
it.
do this in a limited version.
GPT has released their search engine, so that's pretty epic.
That's really
Big.
interesting news.
Yeah.
We will see what happens. So, what other tools do you use besides text-based things like Perplexity or ChatGPT?
Mhm.
So,
So I use it to, I'm not too keen on the results in it. I'm still kind of playing with it, but there's a tool called, I think it's InVideo, where it
mhm,
sticks to video to create
yeah,
videos. I'm not impressed. Like, I don't want to
okay.
advertise it. I think it's called InVideo, but it's not wow. I think there's definitely room for improvement. There's another tool called Sora that does similar-ish things. And
Mhm,
then one that I'm dabbling with, which I'm playing with now, but it's actually quite fun. I actually want to get my 10-year-old onto it, is Doodle. You're doodling with, yeah, so you put in, I think it's doodle.com. I just like looked into it a couple of days ago, really. And you type in the text and then the doodle gets created by the
mm,
text. So
nice.
that could be
Mhm.
something fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, text to images or text to videos is
Mm,
coming up. Yeah, that's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And we just tested or experimented around a little bit with image creation this week in my
Nice.
training that I'm doing. And we worked with Midjourney and let it
Yes.
create an image.
Mm,
And I was really amazed how real this was. It really
yeah.
looked like a real, it was a park. So a park with a fountain and something like that, and
Yeah.
trees and people, and it really looked amazing.
Yeah.
I will put
Midjourney
something
is
out.
really good. Mm,
Hmm. Yeah, I never knew because I used Dali before,
yeah.
but it's a month ago, so it
Mm,
evolved in that time a
yeah.
lot, I think. But Dali is not that good that Midjourney is, not that it doesn't look that real. But my images before were, I thought, oh, I never can use that, but now you can. So it's crazy how this evolves over time.
I think it also depends on the type of images that you want to create. So if you
Hmm.
want to create an image that is about, a real looking person, then
Yeah.
definitely Dali is not the way to go. But if you want to create like an image that is based on like your brand, if you want to make it like a cartoon character based on that, that's when Dali is
Yes.
pretty good. And now with the ChatGPT 4.0, what I do, and this is actually a pro tip for people that just, do sales funnel things. So I would like put into ChatGPT, this is a sales funnel copy, da, 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 da. And then I would say, create me an image based on that copy, just
Yes.
in the
Mhm.
same chat. And it would do that and would create an image.
Yes.
And sometimes it's terrible and sometimes it's really good. And
Yeah.
now you can actually edit because you click on the image and you edit it and you can say you don't want this, you do with that. And it came up with some really, like I've done a lot of images on the sales funnel itself because that's our specialty as sales funnels. And come up with amazing images on sales funnels. So it really depends on
Wow.
what you want to create, you see.
Yes, that's right. And with human beings, it's a little bit crazy right now. So there was a lady, she is a doctor, and she wanted to create an image of a body, so the skeleton and the muscles.
Wow.
And I don't know what tool she used. I think it was Midjourney. But
Yeah.
actually, it came up with the head, and attached to it was an arm. That was it. So it could be, yeah, a little bit
Dodgy.
improved.
I've
That was
definitely
fun.
had some images where the guy would stand there. Like one of the ones I've created was one of our sub brands where we help speakers specifically to create courses and stuff. And the image was like this guy standing there and he was holding his two arms like this in his hand. So he had hands coming out of his sides and holding his arms. I was like, okay, that is all wrong on so many levels. But yeah, you have to have fun and laugh with what comes out sometimes.
Yes. So, yeah, but it improves so fast. That is
Oh
crazy.
yes. Oh
Let's
yes.
see in a
Yeah.
few weeks, a month, it will
And even
be.
this book that I've written, it's already
Yes.
outdated. I'm confident about it, and I've written it a month ago. So I'm on a mission to update it,
Yeah.
because it's online. You can get the updated copy, and whoever bought it, I'll
Yeah.
send them a copy. But
Yeah.
it's crazy how actually fast it goes.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I have the Kindle version of your book.
Oh,
I'm not I'm not through it right now, but I'm on it.
yeah, there's lots of things in here, lots of prompts, lots of things, and it's
Mhm.
tested stuff. It's not thumbsuck stuff. It's tested and proven. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for doing this. I love that you've put the prompt in it, so you can just use it and test it. So that's great. So, is there anything that we haven't hit on in this talk that you would love to talk about?
I think we've basically covered everything. I guess just if I can have a word of encouragement to audience, like when
Yeah.
they think of AI, don't feel overwhelmed, because it can be very overwhelming for businesses. So here's the thing. A lot of our clients already have a full-on business, right? So if
Yeah.
you mention the word marketing or AI, they want to take their can of baked beans and run into a forest because it's just too much. They can't deal
Yeah.
with it, right? But it's actually embracing that, because now using AI in your marketing is going to make it so much more simple. So
Hmm.
my word of encouragement is to say that it is actually a good thing for you to have AI now in your business, because it will simplify your processes, it will put your business on automation, it will increase your marketing reach, because there's so many more things that you can do behind the scenes. So it's all good things. So it's just about embracing it, and you don't need to be technical advanced for it at all. It is just having a conversation. That's it. It's having a
Yes.
conversation back and forth with a human, and that's it.
That's right. So I actually love dealing with ChatGPT as if it would be a human. So I say,
That's it.
hey, and thank you, and so and it
That's it.
always says it was a pleasure. If you have another question, feel free to ask. So
But that's
nice.
the key. And that's what people don't understand. And there's so many times people are like, oh, but it's nonsense. It gave me all this absolute bollocks information. It doesn't work. It's because what you feed it is not good. It needs your
Yes,
input to be good in what it gives you back. So, and
right.
that's the thing. And that's where that, teaching it your brand voice and the authentication, all of that comes in. So, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So thanks a lot, Joy. And tell my audience, how could they reach out to you? How do they find you
Yeah.
online?
So we have, I think the website is probably the better option, because we always have something running. So the website is unleashyourmarketing.co, just co, not .com.
Mhm.
And on there, there's always something. Our contact details is on there. Right now, we're running a challenge. In 2 weeks' time, is just probably selling a course or a membership. There's always something, but that's probably the best option. It's just to go and
Mhm.
look on there what's happening and what we have on offer, and there's free resources and a blog and all kinds of things. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. And thank
Thank
you
you.
for the talk. It was nice talking to you.
It was fun. And I think what you're doing with your podcast is amazing. It's
Thank
definitely
you.
needed in this world. And yeah, keep going. It's awesome.
I will. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye. Thank you for tuning in to the Streamline Success Show. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, and to get access to today's show notes, head over to community.marketingunraveled.com. See you on the next episode.